Good morning, student. Today we are going to study in microeconomics that saving function. My dear student, we have already studied about consumption function. In consumption function, we have already studied that as the income increases, the consumption also increases. Okay. So why the consumption increases when income increases? Here the same situation in saving. Okay. My dear student, in an economy of any country where the income is increases, the saving is also increases. So you can say that it is a directly proportional to them. Same situation we have already studied in the consumption function. When income increases, consumption also increases. Let's see how. Saving function is also known as propensity to save. That we can say that if whatever income it has two things, either they can save, either they can consume. It means whatever the economy earn any income, they have two things. First they can save and second get consumption. So my dear student, what is the saving? So the income which is not used for the consumption, that is called saving. Here you can understand saving is equal to income minus consumption. So you can say also that if an economy 1000 crore is an income and consumption is 800 crore, so saving is equal to 200 crore. Okay. So my dear student, you can say that income can be used in two ways. Either it is saved, either you can consume. My dear student, it is very important to know that why income is important to an economy. Let's see another relationship. Okay, the relationship between, there are two relationships. Okay, the first relationship, when income increases, the first relationship when income increases. Okay, when income increases, okay, so what will happen? Your saving is also increases. Saving also increases. Okay, we are talking about macroeconomics. In microeconomics, we have studied about whole economy. That you can study about the country's income and country's saving. So the first condition is that when income increases, saving also increases. Why? Because most of the income is going to be used for the capital expenditure. You know what is the capital expenditure? Why? See, what is the first relation? Okay, the first relation, that what is the saving part? Okay, the saving part, we can say that saving is also main function of, you can say, the functional relation. What is the functional relation? S is equal to Y. Okay, S is equal to Y. Why? It is the functional relation of Y. This is the first situation when saving is going to be increased, when income is going to increase. The second we are going to study about average propensity to save. What is the average propensity to save? We have already studied about average propensity to save. My dear student, average propensity to save is that you can write average propensity to save. Okay, average propensity to save means you are going to calculate the average saving when the income is going to be increased. How? You can say that what is your desired saving. The formula is APS is equal to desired saving upon total income. Okay, whatever the total income It should be also be recorded. So you can calculate average propensity to save is equal to desired saving upon total income. It is correct. So my dear student, what is the desired income? For example, you can take when an economy okay, level of income is 1000 crore. Okay, it means in an economy the income level is 1000 crore. So saving is how much? Suppose saving is rupees 100 crore. So what is the average propensity to save, my dear student? The average propensity to save is that you first calculate that average propensity to save, you calculate simple formula. What is your desired saving? 100. What is your total income? You just put it here. 100 upon 1000. You cut this one, you get 0.1. Okay. So my dear student, you can calculate average propensity to save, okay, with the help of the formula, whatever the desired saving and upon the total income. So when you can also say that in an economy the saving is increases, it means it is beneficial for our economy. So come to the next step, that is called MPS. Okay, what is the MPS? Calculate MPS. See, MPS is also very simple, we have already studied. That is third MPS. MPS is equal to delta S upon delta Y. So what is the delta S, my dear student? Delta S means change in saving. Okay. What is delta Y? Change in income. Okay, you can calculate MPS. So simple formula, whatever the saving changes, you just take one example. Okay, suppose an economy, the level of income is going to be changes. Previously the economy income was, you can take the chart. Okay, you can take the chart. Once you side take income, another side you take saving. Okay, first income was 1000 crore. Okay, and your saving was how much? You take another example. Suppose 1000 crore, your saving was 120 crore. Okay, plus 100 crore. If the income is going to be increased, your saving is also be going to be increased. Okay. So how to calculate the change of income, my dear student? If you are going to change in income, simple, delta Y is equal to 100,000 minus is equal to 100. Okay. What is the delta S? That is 120 minus 120 minus 100 is equal to 20. Okay, simple. Then put it the formula here. So MPS is equal to delta S upon delta Y is equal to, what is the delta S? You 20 upon 100, that is 0.2. Okay. Come to the next simple thing, that in the marginal propensity save, you can also write okay. So in coming video I will explain the relationship between MPS and MPC. Okay, my dear student. So I hope you already understand this topic. Thank you.